Today's event is essentially the inauguration or launch of this book here in the UK by Ms. Grad. I'm hopeful that Ms. Grad will enlighten us about her journey through Ahmad Shah Massoud's life. A journey that has taken her 6 long years to complete and has brought her into contact with extensive number of people whose lives have been touched by Massoud.
Massoud told the Mujahideen, if you have food, feed the prisoners first and you eat later. Except for me, no one was surprised. I was a curious person and I asked Massoud's friends, how can you accept giving away food you need to live and to fight this enemy? They told me about other operations, similar stories. They explained that this was the way the Mujahideen should live, because their goal was not just to kill, it was the liberation of our country. And they knew that a lot of those young soldiers didn't even know why they were there. They were just sent by the Soviet Union and the Afghans who supported them. Because of this, Massoud had a huge reputation, not only in Kabul, but even in Russia. There are books written by former Soviets praising him. When the Russians were defeated, I was working with a Mujahid named Haji Siddiq in the Panjshir Valley. He came to me and said, I have a family and I want to go to Saudi Arabia for work. He wanted me to ask Massoud if he could go. Massoud said to Haji Siddiq, what do you think about me? Who am I? I was surprised, and Haji Siddiq also felt strange that Massoud would ask him such a question. We did not understand what he wanted. He repeated the question and then he said, look, Haji Siddiq, I am nothing. People said Massoud is a poet. Who has seen my poetry? I am not a poet. I am not a writer. I am not a doctor. I am not an engineer. I am not a politician. In which university have I studied? I am not a very good speaker. So I am nothing. But I am one thing, and I feel one thing. I love my country, and I love my God. Haji Siddiq did not go, and he never asked again. I remember a British lady who came to see Massoud. I saw her in the lobby of his hotel in Paris. After she talked to him, I found her again, and she said to me, it is so amazing to find a military man who has been at war for 25 years and is so calm and peaceful. I never thought that Massoud would have such a personality, that if you met him, he would have an influence on you. You would never think he's a military person. You would think he's more like a philosopher. When I went to see Massoud that day, I told him what that British lady said, and I asked him, how can you be so peaceful? He said, well, I have my goals. That is the most important thing in life. Once you know what your goals are, then the rest is easy. If you struggle to get to them, whether you get there or you don't, it is still okay. My goal is the liberation of my nation, and I will do my utmost to reach it. If I don't, that's my destiny, so why should I be afraid of? Since I have a clear goal, I don't have to change my way of thinking or my path every day. That's why I'm so peaceful. I don't have any worries at all. Something in the heart, it's called the story. Massoud gave the order to nearly 150,000 old men, young men, women, and children to leave the Panjshir, and the valley was completely bombed. For 100 kilometers, you could not see one single home that had not collapsed. Every single home, road, and shop. Even after all that, the people stood behind Massoud. Nobody left to join the Russians or the communist government. He didn't give away money or jobs, so nobody could understand why, although they lost their homes, their things, their money, their shops, the people still stuck with Massoud. There was something in his leadership, in the heart. It is a spiritual secret that you could find only in the Panjshir. You see Saddam in Iraq. He used to rule a country with more than 20 million people, but when he faced attacks from the Americans, people left him. Even though he had money, banks, oil, everything, he was not in the hearts of the Iraqi people. What I'm trying to say is, we have knowledge of many leaders in the history of humanity who ruled millions of people, but they ruled by fear. If you didn't obey their orders, you would be killed or put in jail. To say that without jail, without creating fear, without money, people would do something because it was Massoud's opinion. He did not even say it in an angry way, just, we are facing the dangers of the Soviet army. They're coming to destroy the Panjshir, and we need to leave. No one can be left in the Panjshir, and we will leave the Soviets to face the mountains. Everybody accepted, and that was it. Somebody told me that Massoud cried when he saw from the summit of the mountains that people were walking out of the valley, some with their sheep, even ladies over 80 years old. I thought, oh God, what kind of people are these? But he did not say, look how they love me. He said, look how they love their God. He did not count on his leadership. He counted on the people's relationship with Allah, and he was just reminding them. After listening to many stories about Massoud, it seemed to me that he was trying to imitate the qualities of the Prophet Muhammad. And even though he was deeply committed to his religion, I believe he was and will always be a powerful symbol of tolerance, not only for Islam, but also for everybody in this world.
The great characters like Massoud was appointed by Time magazine amongst the 60 influential Asian characters who made a difference.
I cannot compare the Che Guevara with Massoud. They're different. I think both care for humanity, both care for people in need. And I think the thing is Massoud did it for God and for the people. And I found a Catholic nun from a convent in Europe who she signed a petition for. And so I decided to contact her. And this is an extraordinary story. This woman, who is a cloister nun, cloister Catholic nun, she saw a picture of Massoud when he was 24 years old, and she said, this is a man of God. And she prayed for Massoud for 24 years.
I would like to hear from yourself how you express the impact of Massoud and Massoud's life on yourself.
I'd just like to know, how did you first come across Massoud, and how did Massoud's personality first fascinate you?
How long time it will take the world realize and understand and know Massoud? Thank you.
If Ahmad Shah Massoud today, he wanted a book on himself, it would be this book.
I don't feel like Massoud can be reached by ideas. I think Massoud can be reached by the heart. You know, look at that Catholic nun. It was in a convent. It wasn't even outside. And it touched her heart.